Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video there is lots to negotiate about. So I am going to be going through with you the players that Manchester United are likely to sign in the summer transfer window, and also going to be going through with you the players that Manchester United are unlikely to sign in the summer transfer window. Also going to be negotiating with you the players that are likely to leave Old Trafford in the summer transfer window and that. So the players that are likely to sign for Manchester United in the summer, these are around two deals that are likely to happen in the summer transfer window already, and that's for Jadon Sancho and Jude Bellingham. Now, obviously, Jadon Sancho to Manchester United is looking very, very imminent now for the summer transfer window. Obviously, Jadon Sancho is going to cost Manchester United at least £100 million. Maybe he's going to cost us £120 million. But either way, that would make him our most expensive signing. It would make him a record signing in the Premier League, and he would also make him the most expensive British player in history. Now, obviously, Manchester United are working on his contract, and also too, we have been in negotiations with Jadon Sancho's agent for around 2 months, because obviously, Fabrizio Romano, who's an Italian journalist, and he tends to be reliable. He came out with this narrative yesterday. So basically, revert back to, was it last month, Duncan Castles, he'd come out, and he also tends to be close to United. Don't forget, he broke the news regarding Harry Maguire, and he actually, said that Manchester United are the favourites to sign Jadon Sancho in the summer transfer window. And I think Jadon Sancho's number one choice is a move to Manchester United. Now, obviously, quite a few clubs have been in for Jadon Sancho. Like I mentioned, Chelsea have been in for him. Chelsea are actually willing to meet Borussia Dortmund's £120 million asking price. Liverpool have also been in for him. I don't see how he'd, get in Liverpool's team week in, week out, unless Liverpool obviously, sold one of their attacking trio in Salah, Firmino or Mane. Obviously, Real Madrid have expressed their interest in the player. But don't forget, Jadon Sancho came out, was it over the course of last weekend, and he said, he wanted the transfer completed in July. Sky in Germany, they came out back in February, and they said that Jadon Sancho wants to leave Borussia Dortmund at the end of the season. The Borussia Dortmund CEO did actually say, that Jadon Sancho was happy at Borussia Dortmund quite a few weeks back now, but he actually said if Jadon Sancho still got the same perception, he still wants to leave, he said we will negotiate a transfer. So yeah, looking very, very imminent that Jadon Sancho is going to be leaving. Don't forget, Jadon Sancho is the highest valued young player in the world. Because reportedly he's worth in the region of £184 million, and he's worth double than Erling Haaland, his current teammate. Don't forget, Manchester United went in for Erling Haaland in January. We inquired about his availability. Don't forget, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Ed Woodward went to meet up with him in Norway to discuss a possible move to Manchester United. And I think, Erling Haaland would have been an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer signing, so I was disappointed that we didn't get him. Plus, Erling Haaland would have been a cheap solution. He was available for 16 or 17 million pounds. But I think Haaland did reveal why he joined Borussia Dortmund instead of Man United, because we wasn't in the Champions League. So maybe if he'd been in the Champions League, then maybe Haaland would have come to Man United. But obviously, Solskjaer did give Haaland his debut during his time with Mould. So basically, Solskjaer was keen on a reunion with the player. But I like Jadon Sancho a lot, like I mentioned, and obviously, now he's into his third season as a Borussia Dortmund player. I think has he scored around 30 odd goals in 90 odd appearances since his arrival from Man City back in 2017. The beneficial thing is as well that Jadon Sancho has played in the Premier League, served a couple of years at Man City. But I'll reiterate what I've said in my other videos. The main explanation why it didn't work out for him at Man City is because he didn't really get any first team opportunities. But he's done really, really well at Borussia Dortmund. He's still got around 2 years left on his contract. Sancho's under contract with Dortmund until 2022. But obviously, Borussia Dortmund have come to accept the fact that Jadon Sancho wants to leave to rejuvenate his career. So obviously now Dortmund are going to need an adequate replacement for him. And obviously, they've been in for Jude Bellingham. But Borussia Dortmund will look at it from a financial point of view, and they'll go, look, we only paid around 7 or 8 million for him from Man City, so we're going to make a huge profit on the player, whether we're selling for 100 million or whether we're selling for 120 million pounds. But yeah, and obviously he's just recently, by the way, turned 20 years of age as Jadon Sancho. I also do believe that Marcus Rashford could play a big part in in convincing Sancho to come to Man United, because Rashford and Sancho know each other really, really well because they are both English. And I think, they would play together really, really well with Sancho and Rashford. Obviously, Rashford is out with a back injury at the moment, and I think Rashford is expected back in the next couple of weeks, is he? He's been out with injury since that FA Cup game against Wolves. But Solskjaer did make the mistake by ever playing Rashford in that game. If he hadn't played him, probably the injury wouldn't have occurred. But he has been a big miss as Marcus Rashford, to be quite honest with you. So yeah, probably Jadon Sancho is probably the first signing we are going to make in the summer transfer window. And obviously Solskjaer is still Manchester United manager. It will be his sixth signing overall, because so far Solskjaer has made 5 signings at Manchester United. Well, he's made 4 permanent signings, and obviously he did get a player on loan. Obviously last summer brought Daniel James in for 15 million. Obviously brought Anwan Bissaka in for around 45 million, was it? Brought Harry Maguire in for 80 million. Brought Bruno Fernandes in for around 68 million. And obviously brought Odion Ighalo in on loan. So far Solskjaer spent around £220 million at the club in 3 transfer windows and that. But I do believe Solskjaer must stay, and he must be given another season at least at Manchester United and that. So yeah, definitely Jadon Sancho at Man United now is looking very, very likely. Like I mentioned, we're sorting out his contract. Reports came out before saying that Man United were willing to offer him around £200,000 a week. So that'd be obviously the exact same wages as what Rashford's on. Because I think is Rashford on 200 grand a week. Obviously, if you want to include the bonuses and that, it rises up to around £300,000 a week. But Man United do need a right winner, and as I know we've got a lot of good attacking players in the team. Like I mentioned, Rashford did well when he was fit. Odion Ighalo's done really, really well. He's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career as Odion Ighalo. Obviously, he's got 4 goals in 3 starts for the club. His hold-up play is very, very good, and he's a totally comparison to our other attacking players, but like I mentioned, he's an option of a different type of centre forward. He's Odion Ighalo, and he's been a United player since he was a boy. Obviously, there was reports coming out saying that Man United are likely to get Odion Ighalo on a permanent transfer in the summer, reflect on how good he's done. And it'll cost around £15 million for Manchester United to get Odion Ighalo in on a permanent transfer. So that's been revealed. I think we're looking to extend his loan until June the 30th, because his current loan spell ends on the 31st of May. But I'll credit Solskjaer for recommended Odion Ighalo in, because Man United did need a striker. We still need a striker anyway, even if we get Odion Ighalo in on a permanent transfer. I've also got to say, Martial, he's recently rejuvenated himself. Martial's had quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player. Martial is now into his 5th season at the football club. I think he's on 15 or 16 goals this season, Anthony Martial. And obviously, this season he has been playing in that number 9 role. But obviously, in the 4 previous seasons he's been playing on that left-hand side, because that's Martial's predominant position now. So yeah, we have got a lot of good attacking players, but there's still areas in the squad where Manchester United do need to strengthen up. So hopefully we can get Jadon Sancho on the board. So that's the latest news regarding him. And don't forget, he was also on Instagram with Jesse Lingard, so also that fueled a lot of speculation up. So he's one player Man United are likely to sign in the summer. The other one now we are likely to sign in the summer is Jude Bellingham from Birmingham. Now, I give you the news, didn't I, regarding Jude Bellingham this morning. Earlier on today, I give you news regarding Jude Bellingham. Now, obviously, Borussia Dortmund have been emerged as the favourites to sign Jude Bellingham, because there was reports coming out the other week saying that allegedly, Jude Bellingham had accepted a deal to join Borussia Dortmund and that, and reportedly Borussia Dortmund and Birmingham City had agreed a fee for Jude Bellingham. And obviously, reports were then coming out, basically, saying that Man United were looking to blow Borussia Dortmund out of the water. We reportedly offered him a contract worth around £100,000 a week to convince him to come to Man United and turn down Borussia Dortmund. But it actually got revealed that he said we're at risk of missing out on him because our actual contract offer was worth less than Borussia Dortmund's bid. But now there's been change of narratives in the mainstream media, because it's been coming out today saying, you know, I think it was yesterday as well, saying Borussia Dortmund have now cooled their interest in Jude Bellingham because there's uncertainty over their finances and their transfer plans are on hold at the moment. But obviously a lot of clubs across the world are under financial pressure due to this coronavirus. So now, you know, we could get a deal over the line for Jude Bellingham because he is a priority target for Man United in the summer. He would cost us in the excess of around £30 million because Birmingham City have quoted out that they want around £30 million. So that figure would make him the most expensive British teenager in history. And £30 million is definitely a substantial amount for a player that's only the age of 16. He is still inexperienced at the moment, is Jude Bellingham. He's inexperienced at the moment. You know, it's only his first season in the senior squad with Birmingham. I've got to be honest with you, I've got to give him a lot of credit. He has, you know, been a revelation, and he has played a lot of games in the Championship this season. I think he's played around 30 odd games for Birmingham City this season. So I have got, you know, give him a lot of credit in that. You know, don't forget, became the youngest player to ever represent Birmingham. Made his senior debut at the age of 16 years and 38. 16 years and 38 days did the player. And but up until this point, he's spent the entirety of his career with Birmingham. You know, being a Birmingham player since the age of 8. Yes, he has in that. Like I mentioned, he's expected to sign his professional contract this summer. This is when he does turn 17 years of age, because I think his current salary at the moment is around 145 quid a week. But like I mentioned on my other videos, I'll reiterate what I said. I don't think he's at that elite level as yet. I don't think he'd be ready for the Premier League. I think he needs at least another season in the Championship, does Jude Bellingham. But like I mentioned, if he was to do well next season, if he was to stay at Birmingham, he'd be worth more than the £30 million that Birmingham are demanding for the player. Don't forget, if you had a lot of speculation up the other week, you know, don't forget he came to visit our Carrington training ground to hold talks with Alex Ferguson. Also, Ed Woodward had had negotiations with his parents, so that did fuel a lot of speculation up. But like I mentioned, around 4 to 5 clubs have expressed their interest in Jude Bellingham. But some players that do come from the Championship, you know, can do well in the Premier League. Prime example, we got Daniel James from the Championship, and he's done really, really well for Manchester United. So, yeah, so the total that'll cost us for Sancho and Bellingham would be around £150 million. 120 for Sancho, £30 million for Bellingham. But they are two very, very good players, let's be honest. Jack Grealish now, I think, you know, it's likely that Manchester United will sign him, Jack Grealish. It's likely we will sign Jack Grealish if Villa, you know, do get relegated, because that obviously, you know, then anyway that will convince Jack Grealish to leave Aston Villa this summer. Now, Jack Grealish, you know, would cost around 60 or 70 million pounds if Villa, you know, were to avoid relegation. But if Villa were to get relegated, Jack Grealish, you know, wouldn't cost 60 or 70 million pounds. Maybe he could get him maybe for around 30, 40 or maybe 50 million. What are you doing? Maybe he could get him for around 30, 40 or 50 million pounds and that. But, you know, Rio Ferdinand gave his overarching view on Jack Grealish and that. And he actually, you know, believes from his own perception he's got the cutting edge over James Maddison as Jack Grealish. This is what, you know, he does believe. But even if Villa, you know, do avoid relegation, probably he could still leave Aston Villa anyway. You know, there has been a few clubs in for Jack Grealish. Revert back to the summer of 2018, Tottenham were very, very close to getting Jack Grealish. Obviously, I think they put around the £25 million bidding, but obviously, you know, they didn't get a deal over the line for the player. I think Madrid and Man City have also been in for him, but Jack Grealish up until this point has spent the entirety of his career with Aston Villa, and he's got around, is it 3 years left on his contract with Villa? There's no buyout clause inserted in his contract and that. But yeah, I do believe he's currently going to be leaving. And even if we were to keep Paul Pogba, I don't think, you know, that would affect our pursuit of Jack Grealish. And I think Jack Grealish is our number one priority target for the summer, if I'm right. So he's likely to come to Manchester United, because I think he did say a while back if he was to leave Villa, he, you know, would like to come to Manchester United. Grealish will follow the footsteps of James Milner and Gareth Barry, who of course are former Aston Villa players. So that's the news on that. So now we'll delve into the signings that Man United are unlikely to make. Now, like I updated you earlier on today, I think it's very, very unlikely that Manchester United will sign Harry Kane in the summer transfer window. Now, I'm not going to fully disregard it, because obviously, revert back to 2012 when Man United signed Robin van Persie. Obviously, it didn't look anywhere. It didn't look imminent whatsoever that we was going to sign Robin van Persie, but Manchester United ended up signing Robin van Persie, and he was a world-class player for us, because obviously, reflects on the amount of goals he scored in Alex Ferguson's last season. That's what won Manchester United the title. There has been a lot of narratives in the mainstream media basically saying that Harry Kane could be leaving Tottenham this summer, because Harry Kane has made it clear that he's very, very unhappy with Tottenham. Reportedly, we are set to step up our interest in Harry Kane if Harry Kane, publicly declares that he wants to leave Tottenham and that he does want to come to Manchester United. Now, there's been a few clubs in for Kane, us, City, Real Madrid, Juventus and that. But I think if Kane leaves Tottenham, he'll either go to Real Madrid or he'll possibly go to Juventus. I'm very, very sceptical about him coming to Manchester United. But Man United have been in for Kane at least for the last 5 years or so now. Tottenham obviously, will try and do anything, to convince Kane to stay. Obviously, Kane's been at Tottenham for several years and hasn't won out in terms of silverware. And this is what's really infuriating him. Kane has been in Tottenham's senior squad since 2011. Kane's obviously, Tottenham's third highest goal scorer in their history behind Bobby Smith and Jimmy Greaves. Harry Kane has 181 goals in 278 appearances in all competitions and 130 odd goals in the Premier League. Don't forget, back in the summer of 2018, Kane committed his long-term future with Tottenham by signing a 6-year deal. I think it's worth around 200 grand a week, and as it stands now, he's got around 4 years remaining on his contract, but I can definitely assure he won't see there for 4 years that he's got remaining on his contract and that. Obviously, Tottenham can't win out in terms of silverware this season, because they're not in the Champions League, they're not in the FA Cup. Tottenham's ambitions is to finish 5th, because 5th place is a Champions League spot. So Spurs will want to get qualification for Europe, because Jose Mourinho will only have £50 million to spend if Tottenham don't get qualification for Europe. Because Tottenham, were in the Champions League a lot under Pochettino, because they was competing in and out of the top 4 under Mauricio Pochettino. But Tottenham made a mistake by ever getting rid of Mauricio Pochettino, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. But Kane is, 26 years of age, so he's actually still in his prime. He's Harry Kane. From a Tottenham perspective, though, they'll be delighted in this aspect, because Kane is close to returning to first team training, because Kane has been out of a hamstring injury for the last couple of months. He has been out with injuries, Harry Kane, and Tottenham do know how much of a big miss he has been. Put into the equation as well, Daniel Levy is a very, very good businessman. He does good transfer business, but he's a really, really hard negotiator when it comes to teams who are trying to recruit any of Tottenham's players. So let's just put that into the equation. Like I mentioned, we got Berbatov from Tottenham back in 08 and 09, something like that. We got obviously Michael Carrick from Tottenham in 2006. He enjoyed 12 years at Man United. And Tottenham, lost quite a few of their imperative players. They lost Christian Eriksen in January to Inter Milan. They lost Danny Rose on loan to Newcastle. They lost Bale and Modric, to Real Madrid. So they've had some decent players up and down the generations of Tottenham. Kane would cost around £150 million. So obviously, that would, make him the most expensive signing in the Premier League and the third most expensive signing in the world. Harry Kane and that. But I don't see him coming to Manchester United, because we're basically looking for an adequate replacement for Romelu Lukaku. We're looking for a replacement for him. Obviously, Lukaku left Manchester United last summer. He joined Inter Milan for around £70 million. Looking at it from a financial point of view, would have been delighted, but we'll probably come to regret the decision now why we let Romelu Lukaku go. Because he enjoyed 2 years at Man United, was exceptional in his first season, but didn't really replicate that in his second season, Romelu Lukaku. But in his 2 years, scored 42 goals in 96 games for the club in all competitions. Don't forget, Lukaku was talking the other week. Was Romelu Lukaku. He was talking a lot about Solskjaer. He was backing Solskjaer, and he does believe that we're going in the right direction under Solskjaer. We're making the right decisions. we're making the right decisions, and we are recruiting the right players in. So this is what, Lukaku had come out and basically said. But revert back to what I said, I don't think Kane will come to Man United. And, there's other strikers on our agenda anywhere. And there's obviously, cheaper solutions than Harry Kane. Timo Werner, he'd be a much cheaper solution than Harry Kane. Timo Werner's available for around, 50 or 51 million pounds, because that's his release clause. And his release clause is due to expire at the end of April, is Timo Werner's. And so Timo Werner costs us 3 times less than Harry Kane. So, I'm very sceptical that Manchester United will get Timo Werner. I think if he is to leave RB Leipzig, it's more likely he'll go to Liverpool, because Timo Werner were talking about Liverpool a lot last month, saying he was attracted about joining Liverpool. He was attracted about the idea of joining them. He also regarded Jurgen Klopp as one of the best managers in the world. But there again, there's been some reports saying that he could be denied a Premier League move due to this coronavirus. But with this coronavirus anyway, I think it could affect a lot of teams' transfer business this summer. But the RB Leipzig sporting director said his future is undecided, is Timo Werner's. But he's become an integral part of RB Leipzig's team, definitely. Revert back to when he was at Stuttgart, he was also very, very good, because he became the youngest player to ever represent Stuttgart. Timo Werner as well, the good thing about him is he's younger than Kane, plus he can play in more than one position as Harry Kane can't. And also to Aubameyang, he's another player that, would be a much cheaper solution than Harry Kane. Aubameyang would be available for around £50 million. For my own perception, I'm very sceptical that Manchester United will sign him again. I'm not going to fully disregard Aubameyang coming to Man United, but I think it's more imminent that he'll go to Barcelona. There's been a few clubs that have been in for him. Chelsea, I think Liverpool have also been in for him, because Arsenal have come to accept the fact that Aubameyang is going to be leaving in the summer, because Arsenal want to cash in for him in the summer rather than letting go on a free transfer in the summer of 2021, because that's when his current contract does expire. Now, I think Aubameyang is one of Arsenal's best players. Aubameyang's been at Arsenal over 2 years. Arsenal purchased him for around £56 million from Dortmund back in January 2018. And he's done really, really well for Arsenal, I've got to be honest with you. 49 goals in 75 Premier League appearances, around 61 goals in all competitions. And I like him a lot. He predominantly plays centrally, but he can also put Aubameyang out wide. But like I said, we've done business with Arsenal over the years. I think if we were to get Aubameyang, we'd hope he could be the next Robin Van Persie. But yeah, he'd be a much cheaper solution than Harry Kane and that. So yeah, so that's the latest on that. So now I think the players that are likely to leave Manchester United in the summer, I've already confirmed with you the players that I think that are likely to leave the club. I think definitely Phil Jones will leave Manchester United in the summer, because like I mentioned, Phil Jones doesn't even get in the team now. Phil Jones doesn't even get in the team now. And like I said, he's been long servant. He is now into his 9th season at Manchester United, and he has been a United player since the Alex Ferguson era as Phil Jones, and sustained quite a few injuries. And the club also made the wrong decision last season by giving him a new long-term contract. But obviously we've got a lot of centre-halves in the team. You've got Harry Maguire, you've got Victor Lindelof that are our first choice centre-halves. You can say Bain to Tuanzebe are backups, because they've just come back from injury. And Luke Shaw can also play as a centre-half, even though he's predominantly a left-back. So there's no way Jones can get into the team, so get rid of him. Also, we're going to get rid of Jesse Lingard and Andres Pereira. Solskjaer has snubbed them players. Even before this coronavirus outbreak, they weren't in the team selections, were Lingard and Pereira, because since the arrival of Bruno Fernandes, Lingard has found game time hard. And since McTominay's come back, Pereira has found game time very, very hard. But from my own perception, McTominay and Lingard are both liabilities. So Manchester United also need to move them on. I think Lingard's got just under 16 months left on his contract. He's been at Man United for several years. He's enjoyed some good spells, but his stats were really, really bad last season, because he didn't score 1 goal or register 1 single assist. I think Pereira's under contract with Man United until 2023. Angel Gomez, I'm not too sure about him. I don't think his future has yet been resolved as Angel Gomez. And Obviously, this season under Solskjaer, he's seldom played as Angel Gomez, but the main explanation for this is because his future has not been resolved. Up until this point, Angel Gomez has spent the entirety of his career with Man United. I think he's been a United player since like the age of 8, but wants to try and get Angel Gomez a new contract. And I think it did say a couple of weeks ago he was willing to offer him around £25,000 a week to convince him to stay. Don't forget Chelsea had expressed their interest. I think Barcelona were also in for him. Is he 18 or 19 now, Angel Gomez? But he's hardly played. I think he's only played around 6 games in all competitions this season. Same sort of thing with Chong, he's seldom played, for Man United. He's been here since 2016. We got him from Feyenoord, but we know now Chong's staying because the other week Chong signed a 2-year deal with an option of a further year. I definitely do believe that we are going to get rid of Alexis Sanchez on a permanent transfer. We're going to negotiate about that. Sanchez is on loan at the moment with Inter Milan, and I think he's enjoying a very, very difficult time at Inter Milan, is Alexis Sanchez. Obviously, he did enjoy a difficult 18 months at Manchester United. Don't forget, we got Sanchez as part of a swap deal with Mkhitaryan going to Arsenal back in January 2018, and we thought Sanchez would have been an exceptional signing, reflecting on what he did in his 3.5-4 years with Arsenal. Also played under Pep Guardiola's guidance when he was younger, so I thought he would have done well. When Sanchez was at Man United, he was the highest paid player because he was on 400 grand a week, potentially rising up to 500 grand a week, based on the image rights and the bonuses. Even though now he's on loan at Inter Milan, we're still paying the vast majority of his wages. I still believe we're paying him around £300,000 a week. And Sanchez sustained a lot of injuries as a Man United player. He only made around 45 appearances and scored only 5 goals in all competitions. Still got a contract with the club until 2022. Solskjaer did say, actually, Sanchez would have been coming back to prove everybody wrong, but now that is not the case. We're going to negotiate on getting rid of Rojo on a permanent transfer because he's on loan at Estudiantes at the moment. So I think, we'll also get rid of him. Possibly, Man United will get rid of David De Gea because, like I mentioned, Dean Henderson is expected to come back to Manchester United after his loan spell with Sheffield United, and he's done really, really well with Sheffield United as Dean Henderson, and the club made the right decision by putting him out on loan, so I think he'll probably become Man United's #1 goalkeeper. But as it stands, a lot of players have left anyway since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's arrival. Like I mentioned, Young left this year after he enjoyed 8.5 years at the club. Obviously, Fellaini left back in January 2019. He's enjoyed 6 years at Manchester United, did Manny and Fellaini. He was the first player to leave, I think, since Solskjaer came in. Lukaku left. Darmian left last summer. Herrera left. So, yeah, a lot of players have left since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's arrival and that. But it's good that Solskjaer is making plans for the summer. Obviously, don't forget, Ed Woodward and the Glazers, are determined to back Solskjaer this summer. And a lot of our players are determined to back him because he does need more time at Manchester United. Solskjaer has been here now for 15 months, so he has been at the football club over the year. But Solskjaer is aware if he's given another season at Man United, he has got many expectations to exceed. And he's inexperienced as a manager, but the longer Solskjaer remains in the job as a manager, he's gaining more experience. He was a very, very good player for the football club. He joined us in 1996 from Molde, enjoyed 11 years, scored 126 goals in 366 games in all competitions. And he recently revealed, that he could have had the chance to join Liverpool. He also could have joined, Bayern Munich reportedly, and a few other clubs were in for Solskjaer, but he revealed the only team he wanted to come to was Manchester United. But I'm still very, very sceptical that he is the long-term solution for the football club Solskjaer. He's still got 2 years remaining on his contract. I think, Man United have made a lot of mistakes in the last 6 or 7 years, and that's one of the main explanations why we've been so inconsistent. Maybe there's players we've brought in over the years that we shouldn't have got rid of. We should have got a director of football in last summer. So we made a mistake by giving Solskjaer the job permanently, but the main explanation why we give Solskjaer the job permanently is reflecting on what he did when he was the interim manager. So we have made a lot of mistakes in that. But, he'll be given another season at Man United, will Solskjaer, because we're on an 11-game unbeaten run. Our best vein of form since he was the interim manager. We've done well against the big six sides this season, and recently, a lot of aspects of our game have really, really improved. A lot of players have improved under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's guidance. he's still under, pressure, to keep this good run of form up. So let's just put that into the equation. But he does deserve more time, definitely. And like I mentioned, Man United have got quite a few priorities this season. We can get some silverware on the board this season, definitely in that. And Solskjaer is our fourth permanent manager since the Alex Ferguson era. And obviously, Man United have already sacked 3 managers, even though Man United are not really known for the sacking football club. Obviously, we sacked David Moyes. Ferguson was at the fault for ever recommending him in, but the main explanation why Ferguson recommended him in is because they was both Scottish. He enjoyed 8 or 9 months at the club. Obviously, Moyes recruited 2 players in, that was Fellaini and Mata. Then obviously Van Gaal came in, won the FA Cup under Van Gaal, but didn't work out under him. And Van Gaal recruited a lot of players in, also let a lot of players go. And obviously, after him, Mourinho came in. He enjoyed 2.5 years at Man United, but didn't work out under Mourinho. He did win the Europa League and the League Cup and that, but just didn't work out under him. And I've already given you the explanations why it didn't work out under Mourinho and that. But anyway, guys, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless you all again very, very soon.